Welcome back to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. That's Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker, everybody.
Gia.
I'm former wrestling announcer and weight loss champion Chuck Carroll. Fourth down time here on Fourth and Pain. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And with that, the end of the show, Fourth Down, we welcome Goldberg. How are you this week, sir?
I am quite well, gentlemen, and yourselves?
Cannot complain. Goldberg, is this just a case of the media getting one last grudge out against a guy for what happened in Atlanta some 13 years ago? Or is this a case of Ray Lewis just genuinely getting too much attention? Why is it that the media has seemingly turned on this guy this week?
Boy, you sure delve deep into the underlying reason of all of this, don't you? You go back to the original story. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it's in my opinion, it's not really good journalism. It's the timing of the story, although it's also the fact of something he supposedly took was on the banned list. And I'm gonna break something to you, gentlemen, that you already know. But I mean, I'm a big proponent of SWATS. Their products are wonderful. They're bought, they're purchased over the counter. But the truth remains is that if one of them, though purchased over the counter, is on the banned list, and you take it, then I mean you have to accept the consequences. But the product's great; it works, it's wonderful. I don't have to take any stringent drug test that limits my caffeine input, or even limits something that as ridiculously as something purchased over the counter. But at the end of the day, the timing of the story is not the best of times, though it is Super Bowl week. It is media week, media day. Super Bowl week is the biggest media day there is, period. So they're obviously going to fish as much as possible. If it's a vendetta against arguably one of the most inspirational yet controversial players in the NFL's history, then I wouldn't put it past them. But it is what it is.
And here's the thing that really puzzles me about this whole SWATS thing is, Goldberg, you really just hit the nail on the head. This stuff is readily available over the counter. Ergo, it has been approved by the United States government. And if the United States government approves something, if the FDA approves something, shouldn't that then give it blanket approval for every organization within the United States that is governed in America? Like, it just doesn't seem to make sense to me that over-the-counter substances are banned by the NFL or other pro sports organizations.
Well, the funny thing is that with this little triangular round table that we have three opinions that, are pretty widespread. We have somebody who hasn't played the sport. We have somebody who has, not at the level, but at the level, quote unquote, that Adam's playing. And then we have a current player. I obviously was subject to the stringent drug testing, back in the day, and it wasn't as specific nearly as I could imagine it is these days. But to know that something sold over the counter is on the banned list, that without really investigating what else is on the banned list that's sold over the counter is absolutely ridiculous to me. But I'm here to also say that SWATS is a great product and it works. And it's nothing detrimental that I have found. I'm a good case study. It's helped out a lot of people, whether it be injury, and hey, the reported therapy that Ray Lewis has gotten for his tricep. This reported therapy was followed by myself. And guess what? I tore my bicep, and I have had wonderful results. So, say what you will. It's sold over the counter, the stuff. It's not illegal by any stretch of the imagination. You said yourself it meets the FDA, stringent specifications and guidelines. And hey, man, but that's an entirely different issue, with the NFL and the Major League Sports and their specifics on the drug tests. And there's some of them definitely probably, and I can't tell you for sure, because I don't know exactly what's on the list. But the fact that this deer antler spray in the pill is on the list and it's sold over the counter is I think, kind of ridiculous. So.
Which kind of leads me to ask Adam this. I mean, Adam, as the active player, could you fathom something as I get, for lack of a better word, as random as deer antler spray, for God's sakes, would something in there would be on the banned substance list?
Well, and as I discussed previously, it's tough because there's a lot of things that you can buy over the counter. There's a lot of products that are good that you can buy that are on the ban list. And it's scary because you can take things that are good for you, but you're not supposed to when you're in the NFL or some of these higher levels of competition. So it's something you want to take the best thing to optimize your performance without crossing that line as a professional athlete. So it's something that's difficult.
But and that's your responsibility, though. I mean, that's a responsibility that each athlete has, you know, and you follow that wholeheartedly within the bounds of the law, of the quote unquote law by the NFL, and you have to take responsibility for what you ingest. So at the end of the day, you know, and like you spoke earlier, you know, there are means for you to access to find out what is and what is not on the list. So there is a personal responsibility by the athlete, you know. So a denial, you know, in this day and age when people are getting caught left and right for things that are ridiculous or things that are valid, you know, you would think that you would do everything in your power to make sure that you are covered one way or another.
Well, it's tricky because there's so many things that can be taken that you would like. In college, they told me don't eat a poppy seed muffin the day before you get drug tested because you could get a positive drug test for something. And it's like just a poppy seed muffin. If somebody doesn't tell me that, I love poppy seed muffins. I could have taken that and got a positive test. It's just things that are as simple as that make it tricky and can make it hard to take things when you're just trying to be the best athlete you can be.
But when it's your livelihood and it's your responsibility to make sure, if you have a question whatsoever, then don't tell me that you're not going to find out the answer, you know, or you're not going to take it. You're a responsible human being, just like everybody else who doesn't get, you know, an NFL contract. So some of the responsibility lies within the player, but obviously there is a gray area where, like you said, the poppy seed thing, man, that was going around when I was playing.
And Adam,
you know, and I did the same thing. I stayed away from them because it was one of those things that, hey, why take the chance?
And my question to you guys then would be this, the final question, because we're running out of time. How frustrating is it to know that you can't have something as simple as the poppy seed muffin, or if you have a cold, you have to be very, very, very careful with what medicine you go out and get. Maybe there's something in Dimetap that will cause you to test positive. Maybe it's something in NyQuil. Who knows?
Well, guess what? I'm going to make a profound statement here. Don't waste your damn time worrying about something sold over the counter it's positive on the drug test and worry about the repercussions of people hitting each other in the head at 50 miles an hour, you know, and taking care of the veterans who you know, put their lives, not their lives, but their livelihood on the line to provide entertainment, you know. Worry about head trauma and paying the retired players as opposed to, you know, making so much of a big deal about what's going on right now. It's ridiculous.
Well, when you're a current player, that's part of what you have to be concerned about. That's part of what you have to take into consideration. And it's the supplements that you're trying to take, that the littlest thing in there that maybe you've checked it out, but you miss one little thing and you get a positive test. Or maybe you're just taking something simple, like a poppy seed muffin or a Dimetap or something like that, and it shows up positive. And it's really tricky and difficult. And it's easy to say, you know, don't worry about it when you're not playing. When you're actually playing, it's something you have to be very concerned about because it is something they test you on. You can lose a lot of money on, get suspended on. You can actually ruin your career over it, so it makes it more challenging.
Well, guys,
no doubt, but that's a responsibility you have, right? I was there. You know, it's you gotta take responsibility for what you put in your body. These ridiculous things I get, but these gray area things like the deer antler spray, you know, check it out. You know, make sure. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's just the littlest, tiniest stuff. You never know what can happen. I mean, I take a lot of stuff. I make no secret of that. It's all in my locker if anybody ever wants to see it. And I check it all out, but there's so much stuff. I mean, you can easily overlook and you can easily miss something. And that's the frustration level that sometimes comes into these things. And it's something you just get over the counter or whatever the case may be.
And this is a conversation we could carry on for hours and hours, but as it turns out, we are fresh out of time for now. Goldberg, thank you so very much for joining us this year. Best of luck on your Super Bowl picks.
Well, hey, man, like I said, time and time again, as you've thanked me, it's been as much of a pleasure, if not more so, for myself than it has been for you guys, and an honor at the same token. And I'm a fan of you, Adam, for sure, because of what you do on the field, what you do off the field, and you, Chuck, for the guts that you've portrayed over the past season, fulfilling these bets that you've lost. I appreciate it very much, guys. Y'all be well and rock and roll, man.
Thank you very much. With that, I'm Chuck Carroll. Thank you so very much for believing in our weirdness.
I'm Adam Carriker. Poppy seed muffins or not, I still got the largest arms on the D-line. Peace out, Fourth and Painters.
On the warpath.